my clock video, making the clock. It's currently about 4 degrees out here in the workshop, so it's freezing cold, so I don't want to be out here too long. I decided I'm going to make a clock out of a log slice. So upgrading to this new record power bandsaw has allowed me to slice through big logs like this. So what we'll do is, I've got it set up here at 20mm thick. Got this log slicer, as you can probably just see in the background there. I've been slicing some logs. So we're going to take a log slice. You need to be careful with this. If your blade's too blunt, it will spin the log as it grabs it. My blade's not too bad, but what I'll do is I'll keep some downward force on it to the bed to keep it down, and then I also put my right hand pushing force against the side guide, and then I also use my hand to grip it to try and stop it from twisting forward if a bit of the blunt blade does catch it. So turn it on. It's quite nice and quiet, but I might there we go. So there's our log slice. This is what I'm going to use as the face of my clock. Stage 1 done. It's about 20mm thick there. So this is going to be, it's not going to be a massive clock, but there is the first stage. So let's move on to stage 2. So stage 2, I am going to fractal burn my log of the clock face. So fractal burning is what I've decided, and then I'm going to resin fill it. So let's get on with this stage. What we need here is a bit of sponge, hammer, some nails. So we've got a bit of sponge. We're going to need a cup. So what we do here is put some baking soda, put a bit of baking soda in here. This improves the conductivity of the water, which is what helps the fractal burn travel across the wood. So we don't need a lot, that'll probably do. Let's get that in there. Get a twig. We'll mix that up a bit. Mix the baking soda into the water. Now I'll do a few burns across this. My fractal burner is a neon sign transformer. I have started, well I did start but I haven't finished, microwave transformer one, a lot more powerful. Haven't got around to doing that yet. So all you need to do is where you want the sort of fractal burns to be, you need to get some moisture into the wood. So if we wet it across horizontal first, get that absorbed into the wood. Then all you need to do is you get your nails. So if we go point A, don't have to use nails, some people just use rods leaning on it, but I like to know they're not going to come out ideally. Then what we've got is down here, sorry it's out of shot, positive. So I put my positive on, I'll try and make sure it's going to stay. This is all turned off at the moment, by the way. I know fractal burning is quite frowned upon, but I like its effect. I like to believe I do it as safe as possible with a remote switch away from the job. So what we've got now is, I'll bring it into shot there. We've got the negative, we've got the positive. See if I can just, well, I'll leave it like that. Just get a little bit more water. Like I say, at the minute it's all turned off, nothing's plugged in. I don't touch it while it's turned on. I have my fractal burner on a remote, so I don't have to, so I'll just set the remote up. So here we go, we've now got the fractal burn on. You can see the power going in. It's going to try and travel across from the positive to the negative. See if we can zoom in on this a little bit. With our more high powered ones such as the microwave transformer, you'd get a lot deeper burns, a lot faster. So the neon sign transformer is a bit safer, but it doesn't burn as fast and it doesn't burn as deep into the grains of the wood. But once it's done and you clean it out with a wire brush, you still get a really nice effect on it. So I'll leave this going. I will fast forward through this bit so it's not so slow, and see what we get. So that's pretty well mixed up. What we'll do is we'll just fill this in. Just try and fill it into all of the little veins of the fractal burn. What I will just add in actually before we go on that, finish that stage, is to try and get rid of any air bubbles. So I will just give it a quick blast with the blowtorch. I thought I'd make sure I get that in there so you see that. So I'll just run over it real quick. Makes the resin a bit more viscous, so it gets into the nooks and crannies a bit easier, and it also gets out any air bubbles that might be in it. So there we go, that should do it. That should get rid of any of the air bubbles. So we'll come back and we'll unpeel that, and we can get onto the numbers. Bada bing, bada boom, just drill a hole through. There we go. Hold on. I'm going to mount that onto the bed with a screw, and then I'll roughly find the centre with that. Right, so there it is, mounted to the bed with the screw in the centre. Bit of free advertising for anybody who's recently bought a branding iron, because I've been just branding them on the bed of my machine just to test them. So we're going to switch over this cutter, and I'm going to put in a 45-degree V-bit, a Mana Tools cutter. So I'm just nudging it over now. Too much, 10 mil at a time. Right, so that's pretty much dead over the centre of the screw. So we can set our X and Y. What I'll then do is I need to set my Z, the height of them. Easiest way, set of feeler gauges, 0.1 feeler. Move down near the job. Little tiny 5 micron jumps. Just until it starts to, there you go, it's just starting to, you can just feel a little rub on the feeler gauge there. So we set that as our 0 for our Z. Bring it back up. Take it back to the centre. Well, I have to start the cutter up, so I have to turn the volume down in a second. So there we go. Put that back there. That's all the numbers now machined into the face. Turn that off. So we've got all the numbers machined into the face. My next stage will be I'll just quickly blast it over with some clear lacquer, and then once I've blasted it over some clear lacquer, I will be filling those letters or numbers, probably with black mica. So we'll do that next. We'll fill these numbers in, and then the face will almost be done. Well, I'm going to sand this back off to get rid of all the excess resin, and then I'll put a clear coat of resin over the top to give it a glass-like finish. Then we can work on putting the clock mechanism in from the back. Right, so just in the conservatory, the epoxy area now, as you can hear. Hopefully it's not too bad. It's pissing down and it's loud. I'm going to fill in the numbers. Decided to go with the pearl blue rather than a black. I thought I'd have a nice light numbers on there, so we're going to put some of this pearl blue in there. Just mixing up the resin now. So I've done it backwards. So I've put the hardener in first, and I've gone 6 on the hardener, so I now need 12 of the resin. Same as before, 2-to-1 mix. So that's it, that's all the numbers full. I think that should be fine. That you can see there is there is actually quite a bit of a shiver reflection of blue in that white, so that should look quite nice when that's set. We'll just go what I forgot last time again. Just go over it quickly with the blowtorch, get rid of any air bubbles. And now I'll leave that 24 hours to set, come back, next video we'll machine that off. So here we go, we're back on the clock. What we need to do now is, like I say, I used to sand this to take off any excess resin. There's quite a lot of excess resin, especially on this the filled in numbers. It clogs up sandpaper. It's a nightmare. I go through tons of my orbital sander discs just trying to get the resin back off. So to be honest with you, it's a lot quicker to just machine it back off. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to machine the top back off now, and then I can look at putting the clock mechanism in and putting a clear coat of resin over the top. So let's machine this off. So that's it, all sanded up to 120, which is nice and smooth. The numbers are all pretty clear now. Once it's got the clear coat of resin over the top of that, that'll make it all come back out again. But yeah, that's nice and smooth now. So let's look at the clock mechanism now. So we're going to trim router this one out. Right, so I've gone with this 2-flute cutter. Needs to go 12mm or just over 12mm, so I'll measure it with the ruler, tighten that up. 12mm is going to be a big cut in one go, but I'm impatient, so oh, that is a big cut. Alright, 6mm. Let's do it in 2 cuts. Make life easier. Right, so I've just been waiting for the glue gun to heat up. Took a few minutes. So what I've done is just stuck a bit of tape on the back there on the inside. So I'll just fill this hole up with some glue. Like I say, worst case, I can just drill it out at the end. But this will stop. There we go. So that'll fill that hole up. And now we can mix up some resin and just put a really thin top coat over the top of this clock to bring a nice shine back. Yeah. So I need to put that. Get this with the blowtorch and just transfer it out around the clock face. We can get it. That's the centre. See, it's like going that way. This resin's normally pretty good. It doesn't normally have the edges. There's way too much on, or it's really get it wrong. It's not level. I think it should be fine. Just get it. You just brush away the edges and that's level. You see sides here. Bit more. Yeah, it's like the centre, so I'll have to drill that out, that's not a problem. Definitely nice with the resin there. As well, so that's the edge. Right, it looks like it's out all the edges. Just one down the cracks as well. So a bit more down here. Bit show there, so it's obviously slightly uneven. That's all. Once it's okay, that's all. Okay. Yeah, give it a glass. Any others out might be inside there. There it is. The resin's all dry. Very happy with that. That's looking. Look. A few slight marks in the top resin, but that's come out really nice. What I need to do now is just get this tape off. I will run the orbital sander around the edges just to clean up any residue, and across the back just to clean up any residue left over from the sticky tape. And then what I need to do is just, I've got the glue gun in there, obviously a little bit of resin. I'll drill through the top and I'll just take this out so that the clock mechanism can go in there, and then we are pretty much done. So I'm just going to strip the tape off. You don't want to see that, that'll be boring, so be back in a sec. So tape's off, all the tape's off. I've hit it real quick with a 80 grit orbital sander disc just to take the leftover residue of the tape off. You can see obviously where the cracks are. You've got the blue resin coming through. If you didn't have tape on the back, obviously that's what would happen, it seeped through, but that's fine. So I'm just going to hit the outside again with 120 grit, then the outside will be done, ready to fit the clock. And I suppose what I should do is I should stick my logo on the back there, shouldn't I? I should brand that on the back with one of my branding irons, and this will then be finished. Give it a little polish up as well. So I've just used the knife to make a pinpoint where the centre is. I'm going to drill it out smaller first. I'm going to go through the front, so obviously don't blow the resin out the front. Just go nice and slow with it. It's just mainly going to be removing the glue gun glue. So there, we're through. Now we'll drill that out to size, which was 8mm was the size that went through the centre there. So let's just get an 8mm. So I'll switch that out to 8mm. I'll just slowly follow that hole back through. There we go. Only needs to be slow because it's only very thin resin on the top and then some hot melt glue. So that's it, holes back in there. Cleaned up on the back. Tiny little, very tiny little splinters, but you're not going to see them because the nut's going to go over the top. Let's get that in there. Right, it doesn't want a lot, it just needs a very, very slight tighten. So I'll do it down this way so I don't scratch the face. So just tighten it up gently. That should do it. It only needs to be nipped up. So that's that in there. Then what I'm going to do is, before I put the hands on, I'm going to just brand my logo onto the back there, because I don't want to damage the hands. So I've set it on 2 bits of wood there. This is the electric 200 watt branding iron. Nice gap on the on this right side here, so hopefully it's hot enough. But set it on the wood so I don't damage the face, or don't damage the clock mechanism. We'll just put that there. I have to rock mine up and to the side a bit because to get the fine details out. And there we go. Got the logo on there. So first hand is going to be this. Make sure they're straight. They're a little crooked in the box. Just gently place that on there. It's that one. It's the hour hands. Now we'll go with the minute hands. Like I say, this one just ever so slightly is a bit longer than the diameter of the wood slice. And this one was definitely, this second one was definitely a bit crooked. But we'll get that on there. Give it a little bend because, like I say, it's a little crooked. There we go. Just needs a battery in it, so we'll stick a battery in, set the time, and there's the finished clock. Let's get it in back a bit. hang up on the wall there. Just made it in time before the end of January. Let's go stick a battery in it. So there we go. Now has a battery in it. And it's working away. Ignore the little bit of missing paint on the wall. Thanks for watching. Hope you like the clock. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this. I might stick this up on my shop page. Just starting a new shop up on SumUp. So I will stick the link to that in my Instagram. If you don't follow the Instagram, please pop over, like the page. There's also a Facebook page. And subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.